my workshop. Welcome those of you that have been hanging on, waiting for the stream to start. Welcome to you. Good to see you folks here. I'm going to grab my iPad because, hey, I am, and that helps me to see everything that's going on and the stuff in chat. Who have we got here? Let's see who's in the chat today. We've got Ed. We've got Ed Sheeran on pause. We've got Chrissy. Hello, hello, hello. We have Cameron. That's fantastic. Thank you. Mo, hey. Hi, everybody. Welcome. Welcome to the live stream. It's good to have you guys on the live stream today. Today we are going to do a little bit of work in the workshop. I'm going to actually try and get some proper work done today because it feels like the last couple of times we've done this, we've found ourselves just chatting, which is also fine, right? You know, if we just want to chat, that's also okay. But also I'm hoping to get some work done on this Proton pack today. I've got a trap to reconstruct, so I can walk you through that. Let's see, who else is saying hi in chat? Jacob H. Games, hello. Welcome to the live chat. Ed, I haven't seen your fan film yet. I think you tried to send me the link for it or show me the link for it, and for some reason I couldn't access it. So if you can try again, that would be great. Ghostbusters Collector, hello, welcome back. I hope you got some sleep between now and last time. Hancho, hopefully I'm saying that correctly. Juancho, is that right? Hope so. I'm sorry if that's not right, but welcome. Oh, it's on Ed's channel. Okay, Ed. Apologies. I will check it out on your channel. But yeah, so we're gonna play with some. As I was saying, we're gonna look at the Proton pack today, and do a few other bits and pieces. And if there's stuff that you want to chat about or ask me about, please throw it in the chat. In fact, I see things coming up. Let's see, what do we got here? Mo started working on their pack yesterday. That's awesome. Have the booster tube with the ladder frame and the bumper with the shock mount finished next to the cyclotron. Good work. Good work. Yeah, that's a lot of work. So Mo is talking about, if you're unfamiliar, and I have to say that before I started working on a Proton pack, I was unfamiliar with all the names, but we're talking about this bit here. So this tube and the ladder, I mean, obviously it looks like a ladder, but those are the bits that Mo is talking about. And the cyclotron is this bit here. That's the bit that Mo's talking about there, the cyclotron. Let's see who else is saying things. Big Brain Time has just joined. Hello, welcome back to the chat. Hancho, welcome. Yes, sorry, I said hello to you already. Chrissy was building my ghost trap, and then I woke up in the morning and it broke, so I'm going to fix it tomorrow. I'm sorry. That sounds like that sucks. Cameron, you should add the particle thrower on the side of the pack and have a sniper on it. Ooh, that would be an interesting idea. That's very cool. So, yeah, so we're going to work on this. And like I said, if you've got any specific questions about pack building or prop building, let's chat about them. Ed was saying, for weathering my pack, do you recommend using a pencil? And it's effective to the Spirit 80% Spirit pack plastic. So the thing with using a pencil, and I'm assuming you just mean a regular graphite pencil, you can do it, but it will wear off and rub off. So my suggestion, if you're feeling confident, is actually, let's see, if you're feeling confident, let me grab this. Oh, it's here. And I've talked about this before on the stream, is to get one of these, which is like a Sharpie. This is a Sharpie brand, but it doesn't have to be a Sharpie brand, but it's a silver pen. And then what you can do is you can take the edges and you can put the silver pen on the edges. The other thing you can do if you're feeling confident, and I have the tools here, is that you can take a bit of sandpaper, and I'll do it now actually because I need to wear this one. So you can take the sandpaper and you can just rub the edges of this I'm just going to rub that like that. So the parts that you think are going to get the wear and tear, and think about that before you do it, right? Because it's not always the case that where you think it will get wear and tear is where it will get wear and tear. So thinking about, you know, this strap's been thrown into the back of an Ecto, where is it going to get bumped and hit? And so if you sand it on those corners and those pieces, just a little bit, and on some of the edges, it will also take the shine off the plastic, because that plasticky look is a giveaway that it's not metal. And so if you see now, let me just put the sandpaper down. That has taken some of the edge off there on that look, see? And then what you can do, and I'm going to try and do this backwards by reflection, but what you can do is you can take the pen and then you can highlight these little areas like this, where you think they're going to get the most wear. And then I tend to go over them with my finger, just to kind of lessen it a little bit. See, like that? And that's the result, like that. And again, it's not perfect because I'm doing it reflected in the camera. But that would be my suggestion for a quick job on a plastic toy or trap. As long as you're feeling confident, and you might make mistakes while you're doing it, and that's all fine. You know, you can do those things. It doesn't matter if it's not perfect. You can always, you know, go over it again and fix it. So sorry, I'm going to come back to these questions here. So sorry, just trying to catch up with everybody. So that was Ed's question about weathering. Whom is asking, is it made from multiple things? So is it 3D printed, or is it made from other things? So actually, this whole thing is completely 3D printed. I printed everything and then did various finishing techniques, including Ben Eady's great tip, which was using flatbed, sorry, I always say flatbed liner. I don't mean flatbed liner, I mean truck bed liner. So, and you may ask, why do you use a truck bed liner? Let me just grab a truck bed liner here, if I can find one. So, the truck bed liner gives a kind of metallic texture to the outside and helps remove some of that 3D print look. But if you're looking for a metal finish, that is definitely a good way to go for finishing your pack. Let's see. Chris is asking me if there's anything different with the pack since I last saw it. I'm trying to remember what was different or wasn't. Possibly not, because I think I've spent the whole week busy with stuff. I don't think I've been able to make much, unless I did stuff after the live stream. And so, yeah, I don't think there is anything. So I'm hoping to do some stuff on camera today. Let's see. Boxman, hey Boxman, how you doing? No problem, Ed. Hopefully that's helpful to you with regards to the finishing. Okay, Mo, while I was working on some electronics today, I got reminded that soldering irons, well, let's say that they're not cold. Yes, I have had that experience. In fact, when I was building these traps and I was doing some soldering work, I did end up burning my finger quite badly. And what happens is, if you put it like, here's my soldering iron actually. So I often lay it on the side here. Let me turn my camera a bit so you can see. I often lay it on the side here like this. And then I'm working on something else over here. And then I just caught it with my finger and brushed it only. And it was a nasty burn. So yeah, you have to be careful when you're doing stuff like that. I'm sorry that you had to learn that the hard way. I learned it the hard way multiple times. I do. Ed says that they haven't put any mods on their pack yet, but that's. Oh, and you were talking to as well. That's cool. Trick shots. Hello, welcome. Can you weather the handle with huge silver accents? Yes, you can. Yes, you can. In fact, we'll come back to that. I'll happily show you what I would do to the handle. I've got a trap, as they say on TV. Here's one I prepared earlier. But this is, some of this is wearing down now, but this is what I did on the handle here. So the idea being that where your finger might go. It was worn down there. And then I wore it on the front in this place and on the back there, where again it might get bumped and scuffed. And then I put this army tape, this kind of military tape on the handle. And this isn't something that I've necessarily seen in a Ghostbusters movie. Obviously, it was in Afterlife. They had tape on the handle of the neutrino wand. But my thought was, if the trap is slimy from ectoplasm, having something to grip onto could be a helpful thing, I think. So that was my design decision. And you'll see here again the work that I've done on scuffing this up. So this has not been spray painted, it's been sanded, and then the pen has been used to create those edges and those looks. So that's what I've done there. Hopefully that's helpful. But happy to answer any other questions on how to do that stuff. Let's see, what have we got here? Trick Shots is, oh sorry, I've missed Mo. Use silver marker on my Ecto goggles. Awesome. So they look like metal painted black and not plastic painted black. Yes, yeah, that's a great way. Using a silver marker is absolutely one of the quickest ways I found to take a plastic toy and to bring it to life. So, yeah. Let's see. A Trick Shot is asking me, how will I code the lights? So, it's a great question about light coding. So for my pack that you see here, and then for the trap. So this trap actually uses the original electronics that came with the Spirit trap. So this is a Spirit Halloween trap. There've been different variants of the trap over the years, and of course, if you went to the theaters to see Ghostbusters Frozen Empire, you'll notice that there were popcorn buckets designed to look like traps, or at least certainly there were in the United States. So with this one, my plan was I was trying to mod it fairly quickly. So I didn't want to have to do new electronics. So actually the electronics that are in here are the original ones that came with the trap. But what I did to make those electronics look better or to pop was I changed the switch here. So this isn't the original switch that came with the trap, so it looks more in universe. It's similar to the one in the movie. Then I put this cover on the LED to make that look more the way it should. And up here, where the bar chart is, if you can see that, there originally, when this trap was built, had just 3 lights on it. So 1, 2, 3, as you can see. I added 1 additional light. I just wired it to the same light. So when you see this light come on here, that one goes on at the same time. So those are literally wired together. And then I actually used a laser cutter to cut this little bar chart shape here, so it looked more like the original movie. That was the plan. So I used all the original electronics, and then in the pack that I'm building, I used an electronic kit that I bought on Etsy. I'm sorry, I can't remember the name of the person that provided it right now, but this was an electronic kit that I purchased. And so you'll see in the back here the circuit board for running that. So yeah, there's the battery power, and you'll see here this is where the lights are at the bottom where I put them in. So yeah, that's how that works. Sadistic Minds, thank you so much for the super. I super appreciate it. That's amazing. Thank you very, very much. Sadistic Minds, do you have a question for me or anything you'd like to ask? The floor is yours, should you need to do so. But yeah, I super appreciate the super. Thank you very, very much for that. So yeah, those are my answers on electronics. Sadistic Minds, let me know if you've got a question you want me to answer. I'm happy to do so. Let's see, what else are people asking in the chat? Jacob's saying, nice attention to detail. Thank you very much. Trick's saying, only 11, so it's kind of hard to get that, but it's so cool. Yeah, and you know, I'm sure that there may, you know, if this is something that you want to do, I'm sure there's an adult in your life that can help you, you know, do that or find the things you need. You know, when I was a kid, before the internet, that's telling you how old I am, it was super hard to get any of the kind of things that you've got here. And one of the awesome things about the internet now and about the kind of communities that you can find that love doing this stuff, there's a really vibrant Ghostbusters prop building community. So if you're interested into making some of this stuff yourself, you can find so much information out there. And, you know, I have videos on my channel. By the way, my videos are not the only videos, right? There are so many more out there. But I have videos on my channel on how I've done this. People have got different ways of doing it to me, and that's great. I love that. So if you're interested in something and you're still young and you're trying to start out and you think, oh, maybe I'm too young for that. Honestly, you know, you could even build this out of cardboard or out of foam. I was having a chat with Ben Eady yesterday. And if you're new to my channel and don't know any of this, I just posted an interview that I did with Ben Eady, who was the prop master for Ghostbusters, and he gave me advice on building my own pack. So if you want to hear what Ben Eady's got to say, hit the subscribe button here, and that will give you access to all those videos that I have on my channel. But it's a 30-minute video. It's a conversation with me and Ben. It was super fun. He's talking about all of the stuff that he did on Frozen Empire, on Afterlife, and his experiences on set, his perspective and views on prop building, his perspective and views on all of those things. So it's a super, super cool video. It was really fun speaking to him. Okay, let's see. The Soul, the Mind. Hello. I haven't read the new Ghostbusters comics yet, actually. I've seen some of the excerpts online, but I haven't read them yet. Alban, your live just popped into my feed really great way. Thank you, Alban. I really appreciate it. Thank you for choosing to click and going, oh, what is this crazy Brit doing on here? Building stuff. I appreciate you joining. If you like it, hit subscribe. But you're very welcome. Thanks for joining. Jammin is saying, perfect timing, just got back from watching the new film. That's hilarious. Very, very cool. Did you enjoy it? Let us know in chat. Mo, I'll probably do a mechanical cyclotron for my pack. Nice. Ben and I talked about mechanical cyclotrons in the video that I've just published. Not lots of detail, but, and if you want to see, I mean, maybe you already know this, Mo, because you obviously know what you're doing. But there's some great shots of the mechanical cyclotron that was built for the movie in the Adam Savage video where him and Ben chat, which is super cool. We talked a lot, Ben and I, about his meeting with Adam and how that was. That was very cool. Ed Sheeran on pause. Are you going to put a back on the Proton pack? Oh, can't read. Back. Am I going to put a back on the pack? Yes, I am. I'm going to put a back on the pack. So yes, the back is officially called a motherboard. That's the name of it. And so, yes, I am going to put a back on it. And here is said back here, made of a strong ply. And that will sit on the back. I'm going to put it back on the floor for now, because that thing's always tripping me up and I'm falling over it. But yes, I'm going to put it back on it. Let's see, what else are people saying here? Oh gosh, come on. Come on, Matt, learn how to use an iPad, please. Honestly, you should be able to do this by now. I accidentally wanted to full screen, so I couldn't see the comments. So, what else are you saying here? Cody, hello, Cody. Hi from the 3D printed Ghostbusters prop group. Hello! What an awesome group. I was just talking about how amazing communities there are, and the 3D printed Ghost prop group is amazing. This is a place to go. That group on Facebook is fantastic. It's a place to go if you want to chat with people, learn about 3D printing props, and there's some absolutely awesome folks there that can give you great advice on building props. So welcome, Cody. It's really good having you here. The lazy guy saying it looks amazing. Thank you. Trick Shot saying I mostly use some of Adam Savage's stuff for my spirit pack with my dad. Nice. Adam Savage's videos are amazing. Gavin, hello Gavin, welcome. Jason, how do you texture your pack? Great question. So I was just talking about this earlier. So what I use is this. This is a truck bed liner. And so obviously I begin by sanding down the rough edges and other things. But in the areas on the pack, and filling, I do filling as well. But on the areas on the pack that I want to look like a coated metal, this is what I use, and it gives a really nice texture to the metal. It's worth noting though, and again, this is a trick or a tip, I should say, that Ben Eady gave me. Not every piece of the pack is actually textured like that. So the cyclotron here, and I don't know if it's going to pick up, you can see in the light the kind of the specular way that the light is drifting off there, so it looks more metallic. And then the tubes here look more smooth, right? So there are certain parts of the pack that are finished in different ways. And that particularly is these tubes here, and these tubes here, this, this, and this kind of chimney piece at the top. Those are the ones that are finished in a smoother texture because, sorry, this is clanking around a lot. Because in the original packs, those were literally made from aluminum tubing. And so they would have had that smooth finish to them. And then the other parts were actually cast from I believe that it was fiberglass that they were cast in for the original movie. Right, more questions. People are asking more questions. Let's see. Let's ask. So there's a question about texturing the pack. Jamin, yeah, I really liked it. Reminded me of real Ghostbusters talking about the new movie. Good, I'm glad that you enjoyed it. Alban, I saw the Proton pack and just knew the live was worth watching. Thank you, that's so kind. Is this my first Proton pack build? It is my first Proton pack build. I have a Spirit full-size pack that I use for other circumstances. But I have been building props, so I have the traps here that I've been working on, that I've been building. They're modded from Spirit Halloween traps. And I have a few other props as well now. I did a live Ghostbusters experience last year for Halloween and built a whole load of props and borrowed some props. So my buddy Nick lent me a whole bunch of stuff that I was able to use for props and so forth. We had HasLab packs here. We had some other Spirit traps. We had an Ecto-1 on the drive. It was pretty awesome. And I keep promising people that they'll get to see that video of that experience. They will. It's just taking me, with everything else I have on my plate, a long time to edit that particular video because we have so much footage and I want to do it justice. Let's see. Mo talking about, I'm assuming the cyclotron. Yes, as far as I can tell, they have a wire slip that was being belt driven by a motor. Yes, that is my understanding as well. The Solar Mind, are you going to drill holes for the Alice frame? So, yes, I will drill holes for the Alice frame. I have already spacers that I've 3D printed for the Alice frame that go between the frame and the motherboard. And so I'm going to use these as the spacers. But yes, that is a job I'm going to do. I'm not going to do that today because it requires a lot of measuring and patience, and I don't feel in a very patient mood today. Let's see. What else are people saying? Trick shots, will you put yeah, I will put an Alice frame on it, yes. In fact, it's just out of shot. My Alice frame is just down there. Cody's saying, thank you for the kind words. We love your channel. Thank you, Cody. That means a super lot. I really appreciate that. I'm trying. And what's lovely is we seem to be building a nice little community around the channel. I super appreciate the fans and people that are following and chatting with me and giving me fantastic questions. We had a lovely live last night. And as I was saying, I had a lovely conversation with Ben Eady. It's actually on Thursday, but that video's live now if you want to watch that. It's on my channel now. Ben is such a super awesome guy, and really grateful for the friendship that we've built up over the last 6 months, actually. I was joking on the channel that Ben has been the person I've been getting personal advice for building Ghostbusters props, which has been kind of crazy. I start the video actually by talking about the fact that I'm going down the aisle in Ace Hardware with my camera on FaceTime, and Ben's like, no, don't buy that one. Yeah, buy that and buy this. It's like, this is a very surreal experience for me that the prop master from Ghostbusters is giving me actual advice on how to do stuff with. Somebody's coming down the stairs. Hello. Hello. But the prop master from Ghostbusters Afterlife is giving me advice on what to do. So yeah. Let's see. What else are people saying? Boxman is back. Hello, Boxman. Welcome back. Oh, Gavin was asking me about trap smoke. I need to put my smoking trap back together. I do have a whole video on building a smoking trap on my channel. So if you subscribe, I think you already are subscribed, but if you're not subscribed, and there's a whole video on it, but I'll happily show you how I did that today. I'll hit these questions and I'll come back. That'll be the next thing I do. Ed has got to go. Thank you, Ed, for your kind words. Whom is saying this needs more likes. Yeah, if you're here and you haven't hit the like button, now's the time. It's literally just, yeah, there you go. Well done. Excellent. Hit it. Gritty is back. Hello, Gritty. Welcome back. Ed Sheeran on pause. What about the generator for the Proton pack? You mean the cyclotron piece? This bit here? Is that what you mean? I'm not sure which bit you mean. Let me know which bit you mean. Trick shots, what are your other ways of weathering besides silver marker? So, the sanding I showed you, the silver marker, and then using paint. So sometimes to age things or make them look dusty or corroded and just dirty, you can use acrylic paint watered down and then kind of paint it into the parts where you think it's dirty. And it's a fun thing to do because you can kind of paint it on, and then if you have a cloth, you just rub it off. So it's almost like you can't do too much as long as you're willing to take it back afterwards. So kind of go for it. And the advice I would give when you're weathering is, if you're really looking to do a really good job of weathering, use more than one color. So go into it with multiple different colors. And that's for finishing anything with paints. You think, oh, this is green or that's red. But actually, when you look at it, there's all sorts of other colors mixed in, even if you're going to layer them onto the top of each other. Let's see. Simonomy is saying, if you build it, they will come. Yes. I'm building the pack and people are here to watch. Daniel, what's the worst pain? Oh, dear. Okay, fine. I'm not going to answer that question, Daniel. You know what it is if you're asking. The Solar Mind. Could you get a shout out? Solar Mind. Here is a shout out for the Solar Mind. Alban, you're talking about communities. I was astonished and glad I found out that even in France, we have a big Ghostbusters community. Isn't that awesome? There's wonderful Ghostbusters fans everywhere. I love that. I love that. But that is awesome, Alban. And welcome from France. It's good to have you here. Mo, today I got an email from the makerspace I print my pack at, that somebody saw me printing a cyclotron and asked if they could get in contact with me because they're also building a pack. That is super cool, Mo. We talked about this last week as well, that if you're new to making things and you don't have access to a 3D printer, you don't have access to tools, you know, maybe you live in a city apartment and you don't have a space to do that, there are makerspaces all over the place, and you can go search those makerspaces up. And in those spaces, there are people that can give you advice and counsel on using those tools, and you can go there and print stuff. And that's one of the things that Mo's been doing, using a makerspace to do that, which is, I think, amazing. Amazing. Big brain time. How long does it usually take to complete a project, or how do you know when that project is truly completed? I have a bit of a thing about any creative exercise, is that you never finish a creative thing, you just kind of abandon it. And I don't mean that in a bad way. What I mean is that you could keep going forever on a creative project. But if you, at some point you have to stop and say, I'm done. That's the end. I have to stop now. That was the way it was when I was a filmmaker. You would edit and then you'd go, you know what, time has run out. I've got to just release this. And projects can take a lot of time or a little time. It just depends on how much time you have in your life. And that's the thing. I think it's important to not feel the pressure to have to get it done in a certain time, as long as you're enjoying the process, would be my advice. But also, a deadline on the other side of things can be incredibly helpful. So knowing that you've got to have this done by that time super helps motivate me. So a lot of these Ghostbusters props, this one not included, but my other props, my traps and things, they had to be ready for the live experience. I've been working on some of them for a while, but I knew they had to be done, and so it kind of pushed me to get them done, which was great. Let's see. The Green Kermit is saying, I have a question about the light kit you used. How much was it? I think it was about $30 on Etsy, including delivery, maybe a little bit more. But yeah, if you go look on Etsy and search for Proton Pack lighting kits, there's a whole bunch of them. There's a lot of different people that do them. Trick Shot is saying alcohol with acrylic paint works well. It does indeed, because what happens is obviously the alcohol evaporates quickly and leaves the paint behind. Esteban is saying, I want to make an amplifier box for 100 watts real, and I would like to know how to start this. Oh, that's a good question. So I haven't made... it depends on what you're doing. So if you're making an amplifier box, are you making it for the speaker, or you're making it as an actual amplifier? Whichever way you're going to do it, if it's a box to put an amp in, then you're going to need a few key tools. I think one of the things for cutting wood really straight, you can do it obviously with a saw, but probably using a table saw is going to be the best. But table saws aren't necessarily cheap, depending on where you live in the country. You can get a reasonably priced one from Harbor Freight. But you can put furniture together. If it's a piece of furniture you're making or a box for your amp, you can make furniture pretty quickly from a good size ply, glue, a nail gun, like a little staple nail gun. I've got a couple there. And it's just measuring everything right that's really, really important. And actually, Adam Savage's channel, he's got a couple of videos where he makes boxes or pieces of furniture quite quickly. Super recommend those videos. Let's see, what else are people asking? Gritty. I still have to take my Proton Pack, use shoe polish and wash it for my creation. Oh, that's a good idea, yeah. Yeah, you can do that. You can definitely do that for finishing. James is saying, which electronics are you installing? So this one, I got a kit from Etsy. And then after I answer these questions, I am going to go on to the smoking trap. But I got a kit. You see the kit here. So the kit has a 9-volt battery. It has a circuit board that does the control, a switch, which eventually will be here. And then the lights for the cyclotron. And I bought that kit on Etsy. And there are a bunch of different kits that you can get. But as you'll see, it's actually pretty bright. It's a very bright thing. So yeah, that's the kit that I've got. Right, last time I put this here, it fell over. So let's not have a repeat of that again today. Right, final questions, and then we'll do the smoking trap. Trick Shots wants to get a shout out. Shout out to Trick Shots. Let's see. MoFips. I have a workshop in my basement, but I don't have a lot of room, so I print in another place. I'm looking to get a printer at some point, though. Yeah, like the point I was making about maker spaces are so great if you don't have a lot of space. But there's some great printers and great laser cutters now that you can have in a space that isn't typically a workshop. They're completely enclosed, which can be amazing. Stephanie, hello. Alban saying, got to go, best of luck for your build. Thank you, and thank you for joining the live today. Trick Shots is asking, will I do a PKE meter? I will. I have a Spirit Halloween PKE meter. I'm going to mod it and update it at some point on a video. Gavin's saying, peace out, best of luck with your pack, thank you. Stephanie's saying, that's cool, Gritty, you did an amazing job. Big Brain saying, do you program the lights into that pattern, or did I bought it like that? I did buy it like that. I have done some programming, and you can do it, and it isn't actually as hard as you think if you use an Arduino board. And there are a bunch of other little boards that I sometimes use. So I've done even animatronic stuff. Let's see if I can get this out here. So it's amazing, even for animatronics and things like that, you can get these tiny little circuit boards. I don't know if you can see that on camera properly. I'm not taking it out of the bag right now, but it's a very, very small little circuit board with a USB connector. And then connectors. Oh, actually, I can take it out probably. Here we go. So there you go. That is actually an animatronic circuit board that you can program and control, I think it's 6 servos with. So you can get all sorts of great little things online that will enable you to do things. And this is created by a company, Pololu. There's the name. I can't say it properly. Pololu. I think that's how you say it. Yeah, Pololu. But I use that for my animatronic dinosaur, and the programming on it was really, really great. So it was a fun thing to do. But yeah, there's all sorts of things you can buy now and get access to that you wouldn't have had access to before. So let's look at the smoking trap and show you guys how we did that. And while I get set up, let's figure out how I'm going to do the camera shot here. So I'm going to move you guys over here. And, you know, you'll just have to let me know that you can see things properly. Can you guys see okay there? You can see this space here? All right, awesome. Good. Right, so I'm going to move a few things out of the way. And then we can look at the smoking trap situation. So this here, do you need to get a bit closer? Do you want to be closer? See if we can go a bit closer. I'll get this light out of the way. You see okay? Is that good? Hit the happy button or the like button if you think that's good enough. Oh, I'll tell you what is happening is my my thing isn't liking it. My gimbal isn't liking it, so I'm gonna just bring this down a little bit like this. Here we go. Okay, my gimbal's happier now. Great. So this is a Spirit Halloween trap that I've already done some modifications on. Okay, so I've got the light and the panels that I talked about earlier, all of these things, and the full video that I've got shows all of that. So if you want to go look at that video, hit the subscribe button and you'll find access to all my prop building videos. So what I use in order to create the smoke is this, which is a smoking unit that I bought on Etsy, of all places. Yes, this is it. And so it's very small, as you can see. It fits in the palm of your hand. There's enough space for it to go inside a trap like this. And so that is what I bought. And essentially this creates what is a similar amount of smoke to like a vape device. That's the kind of idea of it. So what I've done on the trap, if you'll notice on the inside, there is a plug to plug the smoker into. I'm just gonna plug this in now, here. I'm just gonna move it up here a little bit so you can see a bit better. So this plugs in here. So hopefully you should be able to see that. Plugs in like that. And then I built this little device here. So there's 2 components to this. This is a laser cut piece of wood that is designed to sit inside the trap like so. And then on the top of it, you'll notice that there's this line of little holes on a pipe. And the idea is that those tiny holes will let the smoke out. I put a bit of hot glue in the end here, but they let the smoke out so that it will drift out of this pipe and out of the closed doors on the trap. Because when you see the trap smoking in the movie, it's almost always got closed doors on it. So the idea is that that little pipe with those holes in it will enable the smoke to come out. So this is what we do, and this will probably all fall apart when I try and do it. We pop the pipe in there, and then we have to put this in place here. And this is me just trying to recall exactly how I put this in before. So hopefully you guys can see this. I'm popping this in like so. Right. And of course, now the pipe's been out for a long time, it does not want to stay in position. Classic. Okay, let's try again. That looks better to me. Sorry, my arm's in the way here. So we're going to push this down. There we go. That's what it's supposed to look like. So you'll see now that that grill sits in place on top of the trap. So one more thing is needed. Here is one I prepared earlier. This is just a cable with a button on it. And the idea of this cable is that it basically runs the trap. So in order to make this look in universe, you'll notice I've added this plug on the back. And all that plug is a direct cable connection to the smoke machine that's in there, the little smoke machine. And this is what's called an aviation connector. That comes from an aviation setting where you might plug your headphones or something into a plug on the dash, but it's got this ring connector on it that keeps it in place. The idea being that you won't accidentally lose your headphones if you're flying or you go through bumpy air. So I'm gonna now turn it this way. I'm gonna screw this connector on like so. There we go, and that's on. And now you've got this kind of in-world Ghostbusters looking button. And then this is what should happen. I'm going to shut the doors on the trap, turn on the switch. So we've got our lights going on and this going on. And then I'm going to hit this button. And you can hear that it's starting to generate smoke. And it will take a second or two for anything to start happening. And obviously if I've done my homework right, this should now work. You should start to see smoke coming out. Let's see. There we go. So yeah, that's it. That's how it works. And it looks very simple now, but it did take me quite a lot of effort to get it looking like that. But what I like about it is that you can press the button and you get some residual smoke coming out. Doesn't look like those are lined up very well right now. Let's just see if I can get them to work. A little bit of smoke coming out. But then when you open the trap up, it literally blows smoke out at you. Like that. So there you go. So that's how I did my smoking ghost trap. And there's a whole video on my YouTube channel about how I went through the process of building that. Not only the smoking piece, but also, as you see in this other trap that I built, how I went about adding these additional panels, adding the aviation connector, and making this toy really look much more in universe. So yeah, if you want to check those videos out in full, they're on my YouTube channel right here on Experience Explorers, because that's where you are. And if you're new to the channel, welcome. You are very, very welcome. We are chatting about Ghostbusters builds, and we're doing some building, and I'm grateful I've been able to put this back together because it's been in pieces for a while. So that was one of the things we were going to do. And now we're going to start looking at proton pack building. So I'm going to just see if there's any other additional questions that we've got from folks in the chat here. Let's see what we've got going on here. Right, what are people saying? Sorry, I'm going to have to go back a little bit of a ways here to answer all of your questions. But let's see, what have we got here? Trickshot's asking, will I do the belt gizmo? I will hopefully do that, yes. Gavin's back. Welcome back, Gavin. The green Kermit, what ribbon cable are you using? GB2 or GB1? Ooh, this is a great question. I will show you. I will show you. I'm gonna be gone for 2 seconds. Talk amongst yourselves. And I'm gonna grab the cables. So I want to do a shout out to my friends at CNA Prop Design. They did not pay me to say this for them. I'm just giving them a shout out because this is a wonderful product. This is a GB1 cable. Look at this beauty. Now, if you know anything about Ghostbusters, you may know that when they made the movie, this was a cable that you could buy. But now, you cannot buy this cable. And so CNA made this and it's absolutely beautiful. This is a fantastic cable. This is the cable that I'm going to be using for my pack. I'm super excited to get that on my pack. And look how amazing this is. Not only does it have the cable, but also they've got the proper connector for the end. It's all made of aluminum or aluminium, depending on which country you're from. Yeah, super excited. So that's partly to answer your question, but also I do have over here, if I can get to it. He says I do have the other ribbon cable as well. Should I want to? I've got both, and I actually got a kit of all the wiring and cables on Etsy. And again, you can find a lot of things on Etsy. Hey, look at this. This pack also comes with this, which, as you know, is the piece that connects to the pack, where the cable is kind of turned into a tighter knot. So yeah, so that's it. So let's see, what other questions are people asking? Mopips is saying, is the smoke machine loud? So let me let you hear it. This is how loud it is. It does make a humming sound. And it's hard to tell on YouTube, isn't it, how loud things are, obviously. But I would say it's not very loud. And when you shut this door, it obviously muffles it somewhat from being too loud. What's louder is the sound effects in the prop. Those are very, very loud. Let's see. Gritty's saying, am I going to attach a proton pack gun to the pack? Yes, I am. I'm going to use the Spengler wand, which is available from HasLab for now, but I am in the process of building my own wand as well. Stephanie's saying, sweet, thank you, Stephanie. Let's see. What else are people saying? Sorry, Fortnite, I don't speak Spanish. I wish I did. Apologies, I can't. Kathy's saying that they love Ghostbusters. Welcome, Kathy. I'm glad you like Ghostbusters. Big Brain Time saying, are the sounds from the Ghost Trap the ones that the original came for, or did you mod it? They are the original ones. They are the ones. I kept all the electronics from the Spirit pack. I think this was the key thing for me, is I wanted to make sure that I preserved all of the original electronics, because it was cost efficient. You know, it's got electronics already. It's even got its own lights in there. Those lights you see inside are their original lights. So yeah, that was the plan, was to enable it to use its original wiring. Previous saying, why are you watching this? I don't know. I'm assuming because it's awesome is why you're watching it. TX45 says, what does the smoke smell like? It smells like Halloween Horror Nights at Universal. Is what it smells like. It smells like Halloween, but you can get smoke that smells. So you can add different smells to your smoke, like the smell of marshmallows, which my buddy has a smoker in his pack, and it smells of marshmallows, which is pretty freaking awesome. Kathy's saying, yay, Proton pack. Kyle is saying the traps look amazing. Thank you, Kyle. I appreciate that. Kathy's saying, show us the Proton pack. I shall do that. Fortnite is saying, I like Ghostbusters. Awesome. Let's see. Nobody knows where it's from, so you can't get the vintage one. Yes, back to the ribbon cable. Yes, it's vintage. It has to be made by hand. This has been made handmade. It is a beautiful, beautiful thing. I get very excited about it. So yeah, and if you're searching for that cable, you want a GB1 cable, CNA Prop Design are the people to go to. They're on Facebook. That's where you'll find them. But they make this beautiful cable. It's super worth it. Let's see. Nerd. Hey, what's up, everyone? Nerd. Good to see you. ED saying, where can the cable be found again? I'll say it a third time. CNA Prop Design on Facebook if you want to find that Ghostbusters 1 cable. This beautiful cable. That's where you will find it. It's an absolute thing of beauty. A thing of beauty to behold. Let's see. People saying that was sick about the trap. Thank you, nerd. Trickshot saying you should put a small compact speaker for your own sounds for the trap. Yes, I can do that. Actually, I don't know if you've seen one of these before. There's lots of different ways to do this. You can do it with an Arduino, but this is a little device you can buy called an MP3 sound chip. And it literally is, let me get it out here. This is so nifty. So basically, it's a battery pack like this here, a speaker, and then a little chip. And you can plug this chip into your computer, and you can put an MP3 file on there. You can put multiple MP3 files on there if you want. And then you can use this button to trigger it, or you can just turn it on and it will play the same sound every time when it's turned on. But this is super simple, a really nice idea. And actually, it's even got this sticky back plastic. So the idea is you can stick the whole thing just where you want it to be inside the unit that you're creating. But yeah, I'd highly recommend this if you want to add sounds to things simply, right? I know that there are much more cool and complex ways that you can do it, programming an Arduino and lights and everything together. But if you just want to add an extra button to add sounds, this is a super simple way. And I'm a fan of super simple because I am super simple. But yes, so that would be my advice. If you want to add sounds quickly and easily, that's a good way to do it. Man, this is turning into a real show and tell. I'm going to get everything out of my drawers here and my closets. Let's see. Gavin, there's 116 people watching. Yeah, there's a lot of folks. Welcome, everybody. It's super good to have you all here on the chat. Let's see. Kyle is saying, and Kathy, I promise I will get to the Proton Pack. I promise you. I'm going to do that next. Do I have a trap with a pedal? The second pressing from Walmart. I don't have that. And actually, the reason that I made these traps, and this will answer Kathy's other question, these are Spirit Halloween traps that I've modded. And there is a video on my YouTube about how I went through the process of modding these. If you're new here and you want to find out how to do that, hit the subscribe button. This is modded. And the reason this this one here, the doors open and close on a remote cable, like the pedal situation, but I did it myself. And the reason I did that is because the traps, the Walmart trap with the pedal, is incredibly hard to find now and very, very expensive. So super expensive. So that's why I decided to do it myself. But yes, you can buy this from Spirit Halloween. And if you're in another country, I know that you can get this too. It's just not made by Spirit Halloween. There's another company. If somebody's from out of the US and they remember which the company is, that I know that a couple of folks helped me out with this last time on chat and told people. If you're from Britain, I know you can get it from somewhere else. And I'm not sure about Europe. I know Spirit Halloween will also ship to the UK and to other parts of the world. But just it takes longer and it's a little bit more expensive, obviously, for that reason. So hopefully I've answered all those questions. Blair's asking, are they real ones? I hope they look like real ones, Blair. That was my intention, was to make them look as in-universe and as real as I possibly could. So that was the plan. So I'm glad that you even asked that question. That implies that they look real. Right, Kathy's asking where I can buy a Proton Pack. Let's see. Where can you buy a Proton Pack? Right, there's a few places you can buy a Proton Pack. You can get a Proton Pack from Spirit Halloween. Again, same place. They do an amazing Proton Pack that's very well priced that you can mod. Or you can do what I'm doing. I'm going to move these out of the way. And you can build your own Proton Pack, which is what we were talking about earlier. So this is the Proton Pack that I'm working on. This is 3D printed. Let me just make sure that I've got the camera right here so you guys can see. Let me just get this in the right position. You guys see that okay? Is that in a good position for you folks? So this is the Proton Pack that I'm working on right now. Fortnite saying make an Ecto 1. I have a buddy that has an Ecto 1, so I don't need to make one. It's a beautiful Ecto actually. But everything on this is 3D printed. So the piece that I'm working on now, the bit that I need to do is I need to work on the ion arm, which is what this piece is called. And if you remember in the movie, that bit, let me turn the camera a little bit. that piece goes, oops, wrong way around. That piece goes there like that. And there is a switch in the underside of it that turns the pack on and off. And that's the piece that I need to work on today. But the other thing I'm going to do, because I can, is I can put the bumper on now. Because I'm done with the lighting. So I might do that. So let's get all the tools we need to do the bumper. And you can keep throwing questions into chat. And I'll see if I can answer them for you. Sanctuary is asking how much it costs to make a proton pack. Well, this one is 3D printed, so you need a 3D printer, and you can get those for under $200 now. Then you need to buy the files for printing it. They're not expensive; they're around $20-25. And then you need filament, which is around $15 to $25 per roll, depending on the cost and the style and what type of filament that you want. But that, yeah, so you can probably make this for, and the thing with a 3D printer is it's not going to be the only thing you 3D print, right? You're going to 3D print other things. So if you don't count the cost of a 3D printer, you can do this for probably about $100, I would say, over a period of time. And Fortnite is asking, Big Brain is going, thank you for answering my questions, wishing the best for your builds. You are very, very welcome. You're very welcome. It's lovely to have you here. And Mo is saying, if you have a lot of spare change, you could also get a custom built one. Yeah, they're expensive. There are plenty of people that will make them for you, though. Sean is asking when I'm building the flux capacitor. Not yet, but I will be building it later this year because we're planning on doing a Back to the Future themed experience. Kathy's asking about how do I have the ghost trap. I think I said that. I bought it from Spirit Halloween and then modded it myself. Trickshot's asking, can that fit into the Ecto 1, the trap? It does fit in. However, unlike the traps in the movie, what doesn't happen is this piece inside doesn't come out. So one of the things I would like to do is build an actual a working trap that has two parts. So I'm going to probably 3D print one at some point in the future. Is my plan. That's currently my plan, but we will see how that plan goes. You know how these things are sometimes, how well they work out. So yeah, okay, let's go back to this. So I'm gonna get all the bits I need to put this together. So let me come over here. I'm gonna grab the screws I need, and I'm gonna move this trap out of the way because I don't want to be tripping over myself. Make space to do this, and bring this over here. Like so. Okay, so this needs to go on here like this. I just want to check that I'm actually putting this on the right way up. It is that way. Just so you know, on the trap, this large open piece, the indented piece, goes to the left of the trap. Oh my gosh, of the proton pack. And actually, I should mention, see the lights going in this direction on the screen. When I installed these, because I was going in a clockwise direction when I was installing them underneath, when I got them installed, I turned the pack over and I realized that I had them in the wrong configuration, which was very frustrating. Very frustrating indeed. I'm just going to move this down a little bit so you get a slightly better shot here of what I'm doing. Let's see. I'm going to just find the right pieces here. And I'm sorry right now if I'm not answering your questions in chat, because I'm just going to try and get a little bit of work done. But if you are really desperate to ask me a question while I'm doing this, what will catch my attention is a super. You don't have to do that. I will try and come back to your questions. But if you want to stop me while I'm working, a super will do it. Let's see. Oh yeah, Mopips is right. You're very right. Yes, there were. It's true. You could have the lights going in the opposite direction, based on the rooftop scene, but based on, I think, kind of what now is I'm not going to call it lore or canon. My understanding is that now that the lights go in this direction. All right. Now, I'm missing one of my screws, but let's start this side. Put these on. And I'm just going to put these on lightly for now. So I've tried to use bolts here. Sorry, I'm going to move the camera so you guys can see. I'm trying to use bolts here that represent what you see in the film. And then I'm going to make them look older and more distressed looking than they look now. Okay, that's that one done. Come around the other side, and of course I put the other bolt that I was going to use down, haven't I? And I can't find it. Perfect, there it is, underneath here. It's not always easy, you know, when you're on camera, trying to do this in a way where I'm not blocking the whole view with my body, which is problematic if you guys want to see what I'm doing. So I'm trying hard to get a camera angle here that is going to work for you folks. And if you're new here and you're liking what you see and you're interested in behind the scenes and prop building and talking about fandoms, Ghostbusters is one of them, not the only one, but one of them, then this is definitely the channel for you. So hit the subscribe button if you're liking it. Now, Sanctuary's asking me which kind of proton pack am I going for. I'm still a little bit undecided. I think it might be a bit of a mashup, actually, of a number of different eras. I like the old used look of Afterlife, so I think my pack's going to look quite worn, but I think that I might go for an 84 style, but with a very worn in look. That's probably what I'm going to be doing, is the plan right now. Atomic Gaming said there's always doing an overhead camera shot. You are true. You are correct. I could do that. I could give you an overhead shot. But because I want to be on camera sometimes, I'm going to do it this way. But you are right. All right. Cool. So now I've done that bit. That's a big improvement. Look at how much better that looks with the bumper. Makes such a big difference to the cyclotron. It's really, when you talk about aesthetics and the look and feel of something, that bumper is a super addition to this original design when they came up with it. And now this is here. I can show you, by the way, where this cable will go. So obviously the ribbon cable will come off here, and this is the bit that's hard. It's wrapping this round into a tight ball and then putting it through that tiny hole that's there. That's what's going to have to happen. So that's something I'm going to have to do sooner rather than later. Okay. So this is the challenging bit now. I'm going to turn it around this way. I have got to do the work on the ion arm, which is the piece here. And what I've got to do is I've got to create a hole that the cables can go through for the switch. Now the good thing is I'm following some great instructions online that I found for how to build a Phoebe type accurate switch here, which is, as you can see, done all the painting on the 3D printing now, and then it uses one of these switches and then this outside piece to fix around the edge of the hole. So that's what I'm doing there. And again, this is a good example. We were talking earlier about giving things a metallic finish. So this has is a 3D print, so you can see underneath it looks very 3D printed underneath. But on the top here, what I've done is I've finished it with truck bed liner. So it gives it that kind of metallic look. I don't know if you can see that on camera, but it's kind of got like a, there you go. It's got kind of a metallic finish to it, a textured finish to it, which is the intention of that. And I think it just helps it to blend better. So what is supposed to happen is I'm going to have to cut a hole here, like this, for the switch to go. Oh, hang on, on the wrong. Yeah, no, I was right. Here, underneath the ion arm, that's where it's going to go. And I've got to get my measurements right and get all this stuff correct. But the first thing I'm going to have to do is create a hole for the cable, which I'm going to put in there. and I don't think it needs to be a very, very big hole. Hey Snedler, how are you? Welcome, welcome. Let's see, Sanctuary's saying it looks more sticky than metallic. I promise you, in the actual light, it looks like it's got a metallic finish to it rather than a sticky finish. Let's see. So Atomic's asking what pack is this? It's going to be an 84 pack, but a very much aged down 84 pack. That's the plan. So yeah. Let's see, what else are people saying here? Trick Shot's saying I should go for the Frozen Empire yellow bumper. And Mo Pips is saying my personal pack will be an 84 with some things that they added in Afterlight, like switches and weathering. Will probably be like it's been used for about 2 years. Yeah, I like that vibe. That's the kind of thing I'm thinking of, Mo. That's my thoughts as well. Oh, Atomic Gaming saying what pack is it? It is a Ghostbusters pack. Yes, yes it is. And Potion Plays. Whoa, that's so cool. Thank you. Bro, this is easily the best live stream. Thank you. That's very, very kind of you. So, I'm going to drill some stuff. Let me just get around the camera to get to my drill. I'm going to move this camera a little bit over here for a second. So, you have a slightly different view. And then, the other thing I'm doing, because not only am I live streaming, but this is eventually all going to be thrown together into a full video that I will be using. So I'm actually filming on a different camera here, which I need to light up and start filming on, because I don't want to miss any of the actual stuff that I'm doing for that video. So, oh, that was a very, very loud sound from my GoPro that just lit up. But there we go, that is recording now. So, I need to just cut a hole that is big enough for the cables to pass through into the ion arm, but that is not too, and actually I'm going to move all of this for you folks. So I'm going to move you off down to the side here now, like this. There we go. Is that okay for you guys? You still see all right? Might move the shot up a little bit now, like that. Okay, sweet. So what I need to do is I just need to drill a hole. I'm going to go right in the center of this. You have to be careful because it's a 3D print. So what you don't want to do is over push it. So I'm just going to, there we go. And you hear that nice crack sound. That's when it breaks through the surface tension here and then into the filler material. So there we go. That is it. So that's all I need, that little hole to pass my cables through that are going to go in here into the ion arm. The more difficult piece is going to be the bit that I'm going to have to do now, which is cutting this out in an appropriate way. And what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to look at some reference photos to just check exactly where I need to put this. And then I'm going to have to do some measuring and figure out where on earth I need to put the exact thing. And I'm, of course, looking in one of my many boxes here for things. Sadistic Minds, thank you so much for the super. I really appreciate it. How long would it take to print all the parts? That is a good question. It takes a long time to print all the parts, depending on what quality you print them in. So if you look at how large this is as an item, right, it's not a small thing, right? It's a big thing. So it has taken a long time for me to print all these pieces. It probably took me, I don't know, 4 weeks, and that wasn't running all the time, obviously, but it took me a while to print them all, and that printer was going day and night. And not all the prints turn out. Not all of them work. So sometimes you find that they don't work out. So yeah, you have to start printing again. You get spaghetti or something else is what happens, and it does take a while. So what I'm looking for now is one of my other favorite tools. Let me just grab this. Okay, so this is the switch. Thank you, Static Minds, again. I really appreciate the super. So this is the switch that I'm using, but it will be modded to hold this piece here. So that's what I'm putting inside the pack. And what I need to do is make sure that I measure this properly so I can cut the right size hole. So I'm using this little measuring device, which is super helpful. And I'm able to put it on there, and it's telling me See that? That it's 10.5, sorry, 10.2, because I'm reading it backwards, millimeters is the width of that. So 10.2 mil. And then across here, like this, that is 25.5. Right, so I'm going to draw myself a little picture to make sure that I get this right. Okay. And I don't know if you guys can see okay. Let's just mount this down a little bit like this. Let's say Snigler saying it's looking great. Sorry, I forgot to heart your and like your super. Thank you, Sadistic Minds, again. So I'm going to draw my little. This is the hole that I need to create, and I always do this just to help me get my measurements right. You know, there's the old adage, measure twice, cut once, right? Doesn't always work. Sometimes I'm in a hurry and I really, really want. So I'm measuring twice. So that's 10.2, the width. And I'm using millimeters. Apologies for my American friends who prefer inches, but millimeters are just, in my opinion, a superior. Well, I mean, the most superior measuring approach is whichever one works for you, right? But this one works for me. 25.5. So that's the hole that I need to make in the bottom of here. Now, as I said, this is going to go on like this, and the switch is going to sit underneath here. So what I need to do is I need to make sure that I'm cutting my hole in the right place and measuring this properly. Distance from the sides, it wants to be even in the center. So let's have a look at what the width of this actually is. So this is, let's have a look here. This is 50.7. So I'm just going to draw a little ion arm picture here. So that width is 50.7. I just wrote a 5. I don't know why I did that. And I just realized that I need to be filming on my other camera so I don't miss this stuff. So yeah, 50 point, right, let me try this. I need to draw this again. 50.5. Oh, it was 50.5. Okay, I was right. 50.5. And then if you're going to take out roughly 10.2 from each of it, so in here, that's where the hole's going to go. Strictly speaking, if that's 25.5, I need to figure out just that little distance there. Okay. There we go. That looks it. So they're just saying that they've got to go because they've got a night shift at the fire department. Good for you, first of all, for working for the fire department. Thank you. And second of all, I don't know how long it's going to go. I think it's going to go a little bit longer. I'm just going to keep going with the building. People seem to, if you like me carrying on with the building, let me know. I'll keep doing it. But yeah, that's the plan. Okay. Atomic Gaming is asking me how many failed prints have I made overall. I think probably like 15% of them had problems from time to time, and that problem was probably partly me, because when you're starting, it's the first time I really 3D printed anything that significantly large. So yeah, it was significant. Yeah. Okay. Right, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to just look for some reference material of where that button is, because it's always good to look at what somebody else has shown you. So let's have a look here. Phoebe, Pack, switch. Okay, see if we can find some images of that. And where it sits in relation to everything. Okay, this is a good example of where somebody has put one. So this is what I mean by looking for some reference material. That's an example of where somebody has put their switch, or that might even be a picture. It looks a little bit to me like that's a HasLab pack to me. But you can see, sorry, that's where that switch is going to go. So what I need to do is now try and replicate in real life that kind of positioning is what I'm trying to do. So figure out where that is going to go. And sometimes, you know what, you just have to eyeball these things. It's my take on this stuff. So I'm going to just draw a quick line here and here, which is roughly where I want it. And then we need to try and get this switch, which I've taken the button out of, and put this kind of centrally in here, because that's how that's going to work. And what I'll do is I'm going to put some marks now, kind of by eye, and then I'm going to straighten it up afterwards. Because this may very well not be straight, which is normal for me. And then as you see, I've drawn around that shape, look, but obviously you need to be inside that. So I'm going to cut a line inside of that line by about what looks like about 2 mil to me. So let's get a measure out now and see what we're measuring here. So that looks like that is 1.2 mil. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go 1.2 mil. I might have to go inches here because I'd really like to use a set square to keep this straight. So what I'm doing is I'm just setting the set square so that the 5 is in the point that I need it. And if you watch Adam Savage, he does this really awesome thing where he just draws a line with his finger in the same spot all the way along, which is really awesome. But that's my line there now. So let's see. So that's going to be there. Okay. Right. So that's that. And now based on my measurements, that hole needs to be 10.2 millimeters. So I'm going to come in here again. 10.2 is right there. And again, if I go here, 10.2 is right there. Need some more light, good grief. Okay. And then ideally, when you join those two dots together, like this, that is where your hole should be. And then let's see, where are we with the other measurement? 25.5. So that's easy. 25.5. Does that look right to me? Oh, yeah. .5. So if I draw a line here, it's approximately the center. Then that should mean if I do 25.5 with that as the center, 25.5. That should be the center there. So there, and there. Nope, that is wrong, isn't it? 25.5. Hang on, that's 255. 255. No. Yes, 255. Oh gosh. This is when my brain's starting to hurt. You're probably shouting at me now. Oh, 0.5, yeah, so it is approximately 25 and a bit. So actually this needs to come into the center here, so those are wrong. Those points there, let's see if I can erase those. You see it? There we go. Right, let's try again. Okay, here we go. Here we go. All right. Almost there. I recognize that measuring is not the most stimulating thing to watch on a video. But I think we did it now. And I don't want to wreck my ion arm. That's the thing. I really don't want to wreck it. I want to make sure that it's kept in a good space. So let's see. What are people saying? Jason's saying, am I planning on getting an LED rig to look like the Afterlight cyclotron at some point? Possibly at some point in the future. Yeah, right now, my rig is a standard rotating light rig that I've put in there. But at some point in the future, it would be fun to go either for a different cyclotron of some kind. Everything that's in here is only in with hot glue, so all of that can be removed. So if at a future time I decided that I wanted to do something different, I could definitely do that. Let's see, who else is here? Trick shots. Will you use Hasbro Afterlife or 84 wand? I'll probably use the Afterlife wand, but I'll take the tape off the handle, is the plan. The Green Kermit, yeah, that's HasLab. Anyone tell if you remember the secret door on the power cell? Yes, there's a cool secret door on the power cell. I like that. And you can buy something to go inside it, which is even super cooler. Jason saying, hello again from Calgary. Hi, welcome back from Calgary. This is sick, right on. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Right, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to do something destructive and crazy. I'm going to move this camera that's recording over here. I'm going to swap these around. Give me 1 second to reconfigure things for you guys. And here's what we're going to do. So, I am now going to try very hard. Let's see if we can move this over here. I'm gonna try and cut the thing that I need to cut here, which is over here. So let me move this out of the way. So this is the bit that's going to be a little bit, as we say in England, I'm not sure why we say it, squeaky bum time. And I'm trying to think about the best way to hold this in place. Maybe I need to put it actually in my vise. Here is the probable place. So I don't want to mess up my 3D print, so I'm just going to put a bit of cardboard to hold it in place. If I can find some, is the question. Where is a nice bit of cardboard that I can use to hold this in place? Let's see. Jadil is here. Welcome back, Jadil. Can you find me some cardboard, Jadil? Okay, I found some. Found a little bit. So what I'm trying to do is make sure that when I put this in my vise, that what I'm not going to do is crush the 3D print. And then I'm going to have to support it under here with something as well. And this is the thing, right? It's always easy at these moments to want to rush yourself and try and do something in a hurry. Now, I don't want to crush that either, but I don't want it to drop. So now I need something under here to just keep that in place. A couple of bits of wood is what I need. if I can find them. Of course, I can't find anything right now. I love how probably all you could hear then was random crashing and clattering, which is what was happening. Okay, that looks like that's a pretty good height. Just going to put a bit of tape around that to hold it in place temporarily. I don't want this slipping and sliding around. And then add a bit of tape here as well. I've learned my lesson from trying to rush these things sometimes. What happens is that you try and rush a job because you're really desperate to see the finished product, and then you find that, you know, you've wrecked it. So this is now going to be interesting. Because I've got to cut that out, and probably the only simple way for me to do that is with a Dremel. So I'm going to try doing that now. Again, I'm going to have to move a few things around here. You can't see, but I've got the stuff from my show and tell still around and about. And it's amazing how quickly your workspace becomes a mess. Okay, so I'm going to use a Dremel to cut this little hole out, but I just want to make sure that I've got enough give on my cable before I do it, so that I don't end up having a little accident. Right, let's see. So I'm going very gently right now because I don't want to overdo it. And the other thing you have to remember when you're doing anything that's cutting, wow, look at this light on my face. Anything that's cutting into a 3D print is that it's going to melt, because at high temperatures, melting happens with this stuff. So just need to be careful when you do it, that what you're not doing is overdoing it. So take a break between cutting it is what I guess I'm trying to say, probably badly. But yeah. So yeah, actually I'm going to pull the light over here so I've got a little bit more light on what I'm doing. Okay, let's try this again. Okay, so that is that for now. Notice this is still quite hot and melted up here. So now I've got to go through these bits. I need to find a Dremel bit that is an appropriate size. Now the only thing that I think here is that there's possibly, very probably, not a disc that is going to be the right size for this. As you can see here, all these discs are the same size as the disc that I just used. There's nothing smaller that at least that I've got in my kit. So we're going to do another little technique for cutting into 3D models, which is using a soldering iron. Using a soldering iron. So, and how will that work, I hear you cry? Well, obviously the soldering iron will melt into this. So what we're going to do is I'm going to melt from this direction and then try and make as straight a line as I can just inside that line. And then I'll come in with a file and file it out afterwards. That is the plan. So soldering iron is going to heat up. Mo, was it you that said earlier you had a soldering iron mishap? Hopefully I'm not going to do that myself, but keep an eye out for me, folks. And while this is heating up, this is a good practice if you guys have a workshop space or have your own workshop. I'm just going to take a few moments while that soldering iron's heating up to clear my workspace, because what I don't want to do is get overwhelmed, right? If you look over here, there's lots of bits and pieces building up, so it's always good just to go, okay, I've got a second while this thing's heating up. I'm going to take a moment to clear my space so I haven't got stuff everywhere. I don't always manage to do this, by the way. In fact, the reason I'm doing this is because I've learned from sad experience this is what I need to do in order to enable my workspace to be what it is. Also going to move the paper out from under the soldering iron, which is another good idea. Yeah, Mo was saying it was them. Let's see, who else is saying things? I haven't looked at chat for a while. Jadil was looking for their friend and has now left because their friend wasn't here. Mo is saying keep spare shipping boxes next to the workbench in cases like this. Yes, that's very good planning. ACY is saying he's going to become a Ghostbuster. I hope so. Or Ghostbusters should be singular. He's only one person. Well, sometimes. It depends on how schizophrenic I'm feeling with being split between multiple projects. Mofits, I only have a super old Dremel from the 80s with an external power supply, but as long as it's working, it'll do. Yes, that's good. Ed's saying, I'm back, you should make the compact thrower. Yep, I am planning on making the compact thrower. I've got all the parts next door. Let's see. Yes, okay, and we're back to being hurt by soldering irons. Right, let's see if this is warm enough to do the job. Let us see. All right, so there we go. So what you should see happening is, and notice I'm putting it in from the side here. I'm not going directly down because you can't always control where it goes, especially when you're going through the bottom skin of the 3D print. Okay. Let's just turn this way a little bit so you get a better view. Sorry, I forgot the camera was not moved. Okay. So I'm in the support area, which is the bit inside, and then I'm pushing it down to go through the skin on the inside. Okay. So let's see. Let's see where we got to with that. There we go. So that has worked. So now I've got a hole that should be the right size for this. Now it's going to need a little bit of filing out. It's definitely not the right size yet. So this is where I get my file kit, but I realized I boxed myself in here with all the stuff I put behind the camera. So give me a second. So I have this file kit that I find really useful. It's got a bunch of different file sizes. That looks like it's going to be perfect for the job. And then we're going to just clean this out a little bit. And here's what's going to happen. If we feel like I'm finding now, that this is a little bit aggressive on the inside for cutting, I'm just going to put the soldering iron in here and open this space out a little bit more. So I've got space inside here. And by the way, if you're modding like a toy, and you're trying to take bits out. Some people have done this with the Spirit Halloween pack. And so what they've done is that they've cut off or cut pieces out of that pack so they can add 3D printed pieces to it. You do this in a very similar way. What I would say though is that because I'm working with 3D printed material, I'm not wearing a mask, but if you're doing this with any other plastics, those fumes can be quite bad for you. So I would not suggest doing this unmasked. Right, let us see how we're doing here. Still needs a little bit of love. So I'm going to open this up a little bit more. It's in those corners that I'm finding the biggest problem with this. And hey, you know, you might be able to see me screw this up live. As I often say in my videos, and show in my videos, right, I screw up regularly. So, you know, this may be one of those times that this happens. Okay, that is close. Now what I don't want to do is, can you see how that plastic is dropping down a bit because it's hot? I don't want to force it when it's still warm. So, I do notice there's a bit here. There's a piece of structure in here for screwing this to the pack itself. I need to just knock that down a little bit on the inside there. Okay, I think that's definitely enough now. I'm going to let that cool down a touch. And while I let that cool down, I'll have a look and see if you've got any questions for me in chat. The Green Comet, for my pack, I made the cyclotron system made for a Thomas motor and a Dollar Tree finger LED. That's cool. That's a good idea. Mopip's saying PLA or PET fumes should be pretty harmless, yes, but ABS, which most toys are made out of, is toxic, which is why you should only 3D print ABS in an enclosure. Yeah. So this is all PLA, and those are all really, really good pieces of advice there, Mo, which is exactly what I was referencing, just making sure that you're safe. And I do take safety when I'm doing things quite seriously. You can really injure or hurt yourself if you're not smart. And it's often the long-term things like breathing in the wrong stuff that can be really bad for you. Sneaker's saying every part of the journey is about learning. It is. It is. Ryder Weird Projects. Hey, Ryder, welcome. I don't think I've seen you here before. Very good to see you. Welcome to the live. Oscar, welcome to the live. You love Ghostbusters. That's awesome. Oh, that's, by the way, not an alarm. It's just my my GoPro running out of battery. And Ryder is saying that they love Ghostbusters too. Well, welcome, welcome. What we're doing is waiting for this to cool down to see if we can put this in. Right, I'm definitely going to have to do some filing now inside here. Because obviously a soldering iron is not square. It's always going to make a round indentation, unlike what we're trying to build, which is it's literally a round peg in a square hole. Is what we've just created there. So now I have to clean this out. And the other thing I can do is it's a little bit raised up. So the other thing we're going to want to do is get this edge opened up too a little bit. Let's see. And that's why having these files is super helpful. So having the right file for the right job, I found has been really useful when you get to a moment like this and you're like, okay, I need to change the shape of this, or I need to tidy this edge up. This is exactly what this is for. Okay, let's see. Ooh, it's close. It's not quite there, but it's close. And it's those clips. See these clips on the side here? These are the things that are making it difficult for me to put it in right now, which actually I didn't account for in my measurements. which is probably why they're not going in. So we may have to bring the soldering iron back out. Let's see. And for those of you going, that looks really messy right now, it does. But this, as you remember, is going to sit over the top of it like that. So that's what the final thing is going to look like when we get it done. But yeah, I do feel like these two sides, whoops, are not quite cutting it. Now, what I do also have, which I found really helpful in these scenarios, is this little wireless Dremel, which can be quite helpful when you're trying to do some of these things. So I might just go in there and see if I can open that up. It's probably going to sound like you're in the dentist right now. And if you're just here, careful viewers will notice that we are building a proton pack from Ghostbusters. This is a 3D printed pack. And what I'm doing is I'm opening up a part of the 3D print that was not originally designed for this particular type of thing to add a switch, which is a switch that you see in Ghostbusters underneath this, which is the ion arm. So that's what I'm doing right now. And what I would say is that apologies if I'm not responding to you in chat. I'm just trying to focus right now. But you're welcome to put things in and I'll try and get to them as soon as I can. Right, let's see. Let's see where we're at. Let's see if that's made a difference. Well, we are still struggling on the corners here. I think, from what I can see in there, but the soldering iron is going to be needed again. So here we go. Here we go. And the problem I've got now is that the tip of the soldering iron is going all the way in. You see this? So I'm having to be very careful that I don't over egg it. I don't know if that's a phrase that everyone's familiar with. It's certainly a phrase that we use in Britain. Over egging the pudding, meaning putting too much of the wrong ingredients in or doing something too aggressively or too enthusiastically and making it a mess. So here I am hoping that I'm not over egging the pudding, as we say. Right, let me see if that will help us at all with what we're trying to do. And again, like I said before, because I've melted that now with the soldering iron, I'm going to have to just let it cool down a little bit so that it isn't, so I can work with it. So I can work with it. Let's see, what are people saying here? Rider Web Projects was saying hi. Mopips talking about safety. We were talking about safety in working on projects like this and not breathing in the wrong things. That's why Mo's saying they only spray in their garage with the door open and a mask on. Yeah, that's sensible. Dum Dum, hello. I'm watching Ghostbusters and this at the same time. That's awesome. That's awesome. Welcome to the live feed. Oscar, hello. Oscar saying they like Ghostbusters 1 and 2. And Oscar and Dum Dum are having a chat saying that 1 is their personal favorite. Sharky7 is saying, how much money do I want for it, for my pack? I'm probably not going to sell this. But if you like watching, you can always drop a super in chat if you would like to. Rupp is saying, nice job. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. And if you're liking what you see, hit like. Hit the subscribe button. Let's see. Oh, that's looking better. Look at that. So I think it's going to go in that side, but I think the problem I've got is this side here, where you can't see from that angle, but there's a lot of shenanigans going on in there. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the hot arm of this, which is not typically what you're supposed to use it for. I'm going to have to clean this soldering iron afterwards. It's going to be covered in plastic. I'm going to use the end of it like this to help me out there a little bit. Right. Let's see if that will work. And again, if you've just arrived, what we're doing is we're taking a PLA 3D print and we're opening up a hole in it for the purpose of adding a switch to the pack. And the 3D print model did not have this hole in it originally. So using a couple of techniques for making this hole, I've used a Dremel, I've used a soldering iron, I've used some files. Still looking like that's going to be fine there with where that's going to fit over the top. So it still looks neat, even though the mess underneath it does not. So let's see. Oh yes, there we go. It fits. It's a fit. Now I'm not going to push it all the way down because it's going to clip into place and it's going to be a problem for me. But yeah, that is great news. Okay, that's now fitting in place. I love it. Okay, now. So now that's done, I've got a slightly different job to do, which is I have to put together this switch to make it work. And by the way, this switch is a 3D print designed by Solari Brothers, who do some great Ghostbusters 3D print models. And there's a set of instructions actually on their website, sorry, on their YouTube, for how to mod one of these switches. Now there's a tiny little piece that's meant to be inside this switch that I did tip out, and I can't remember where it's gone. But the first thing I'm going to do, because I don't want to burn myself like Mo did, and like I have done in the past, I am going to put this soldering iron away, out of the way, so that it cannot be touched. Okay, right, that is done. And then I'm going to reorganize my workspace yet again. Yet again. Okay. All right. So, and if you have any questions for me, feel free to put them in chat. I'm happy to chat with you about your Ghostbusters prop or even 3D prop building questions. I do not claim to be any kind of amazing expert, but just a fan of doing this stuff. So I think that that little piece that I needed from the switch has disappeared. Okay. So there's the hole that I've cut. And as you can see, part of the problem I was having, I don't know if you can see that on the inside here. Let's see if I can get the light on it. This piece, this is like a strut like this for holding the screw, was right in the place where I needed to push this through. So that caused me a bit of a problem. I had to do some more melting of that than I would have liked to have done. Stephanie's heading out. Thank you for joining. Oscar doesn't live in the UK. Neither do I, Oscar. I live in the US. I'm just from the UK. Okay, there we go. So it's good. So let's move this camera over a little bit. So, there we go. That's better. So this is going to sit here, and the switch is going to go in there. That's where that's all going to go. So, you can understand why I tried to do all of this now, before I mounted any of this. And then I cut a hole here earlier to create space. Create space for the cable to run through. All right, so now, let's see. Now what I've got to do is connect this piece to the switch that's going to go in there. And I'm going to do that actually with, I tried using super glue and that didn't work. It didn't stay. So what I'm going to try doing now is I'm going to try using some epoxy. Fast setting like 5-minute epoxy to glue it in place. That's what I'm going to do. But before I do that, I have got to sort out this situation with the switch here. And I've got to find a little metallic piece that's missing. So I think I'm probably going to have to take it out. I bought a bunch of these switches. So I'm going to put it in the vise and I'm going to dismantle this one in order to make it work. And then the other thing I'm going to have to do before I do anything is check that when I've modded the switch, let's move the camera, when I've modded the switch that it's actually gonna work the way I want it to. So that's the other big thing at stake here that I'm gonna have to do. So yeah. Right. I need a mini screwdriver, which is over here. All right. Oh, I remember how to do this. I need something that's in my office. Give me 1 second. I'm going to need to cut in there to cut this out. Okay, so there's a little nodule in here that basically you need to cut through on both sides of the switch to get the switch to come out. And I think I've done it. There it is. So that has now been cut out of there. And then you'll notice on the inside of the switch that there's this little rocker. See that? Now luckily that hasn't popped out, so I'm going to put it back in. And then the idea is that this piece, and I'm pretty sure, I think it goes that way around. I hope so. Let's look at another one of these. Right, so with that there, that is on and that is off. Now, which way in the movie is on and off? Do you remember? Let's take a look and see which way is on and which way is off for this. Which way is on and which way is off? So I'm just looking at some reference material here because I need to make sure that I get this right. And so I think the best place to go is to go to let's see. VB test pack. And if any of you know which way that shot is supposed to go, the button is supposed to go to be on and off, let me know. Because I don't want to get it the wrong way around. Okay, so here is a scene from the movie, and this is when podcast turns it on. So it's out is on. Okay, out is on. So that means that with this here, that's on. So I need to flip this around like this, because that's going to be the way the switch is going to be right. And then I need to put this on here. And then I need to find something that's going to go, oops. I need to tighten that a little bit more. Something that's going to go in there to hold the switch in place. It feels very much like it needs a little I need a little piece of metal or something to go in there to hold it in place. But it does seem to be working. So, what is that going to be, I ask myself. There's a couple of things it could be. Looking at the size of that hole, looks like I could use a screw like this to go through it, but I probably want a slightly shorter one like this. So let's see if I can make that happen. Feels like it's just a little bit too high up for some reason. Nope. Why are these things always so difficult? Let's just see for a second. Is that going to fit? Oh, it's too. The reason it's not going in is because it's too big for that hole. So maybe I need a piece of thick wire that will hold it in position. And there's been one of those knocking around for ages right here. And of course, the minute I need it, I cannot find it. All right, let's try this on for size, this wire here. Again, I don't know if this is going to be strong enough. Oh, well, that seems to work fine. Look at that. What I might do is I'm just going to take this wire. I'm going to cut it, obviously, here. Come on. And then I'm going to bend the ends at a right angle so that they can't come out like that. Same there. All right, there we go. That's great, a working Phoebe switch. I love it. Look at that. Now here's the thing. I'm not sure that wire is thick enough because it feels like this is now broken. I feel like it needs to be a little bit lower down, maybe. He says loudly. This is the true test here. The problem with that wire I've just put in is there's a little bit too much give on it. So what I might need to do is have a slightly thicker thing. What is that thing going to be? Can I find any thicker wire in my workshop is the question. I have other wire here, but my hunch is that that wire is of a similar diameter to the wire that I used before. It is the same, so that's not going to work. My other option is to go with what I did before, which is to use the screw. I wonder if I've got any screws with a narrower diameter. Let's see. Let us see up here what we have. Those aren't going to work. Those aren't going to work. Those, nope. No, I think that those 3mm screws are the only ones that I've got that are going to do the job. So, I guess it's time to figure that out. Let me go back to the chat. Sorry guys, I haven't been keeping an eye on it. So where are we? Here we go. Okay, what are people saying? Hi folks, sorry. What have you been saying? To the left is on, Mo is saying. Thank you. I think I got that right, yeah? So this is to the left, and that is on. Yeah, so that is correct. Which is the same with this, right? Because if that was that way. All right, sweet. That's brilliant. Thank you for double confirming that to me. I appreciate it. I didn't see your comment because I was I was too busy trying to figure it out. Elstream, cool. Hello, welcome. Yes, I do remember you. Welcome back. Welcome back. in the video, these are 2mm 12mm screw. Yes, you're right. I only have a 3mm. So here's what I'm gonna do. And if I screw this up, then you can all go, "You were an idiot, Matt." Which you already know anyway, so it's fine. I'm going to take that out of there. Right, carefully pull this out. And I think what I can do is, that is so close to being a 2mm hole, I'm going to use... cut in front of you here. I'm going to use this, which is for creating a hole for a screw to go through, and I'm going to bore the hole out on this very carefully, just so that a screw will actually go into this when I put it through. So there we go. It's going to go all the way through with that. Take it out. I'm trying to get this done before I finish the stream, so you can at least see what I've done here. There we go. And that should mean that this screw should go through now. So it should mean that that fits in there nicely. And of course it falls on the floor immediately. Of course it does. Of course it does. Okay, that is going to work. I'm just going to have to screw it properly with a screwdriver that's designed for putting those screws in. So let me do that now with the screwdriver. And I'm just putting it all the way through first to show that it can go through, first of all. This is always the long bit now. Taking it out is harder than putting it in. And again, if you're here for the first time, I'm using the Solari Brothers 3D printed switch from their channel. And if you're making a pack of your own and you want to make a switch, I highly recommend this method for doing it. So here we go. Let's see if I can put that screw back in there like I did before. This is the moment of truth. Is it going to come through? No? I need to tip this down a little bit on the other side. Is it coming through? It is making it through. That is good. There it is. Okay. Okay, it has made it through, but it's very stiff. Stiffer than I would like it to be. It's getting less difficult to move, but I fear that that is so tough to move that it might pull the ion arm off the pack. Which is not really what we want. So I think I may have to go with exactly what was asked, which is a 2mm screw here. Oh, that is getting better. Now I've pushed it in and out a couple of times. Yeah, that's not as bad, but it is still quite tough. But the thing is that it is working every time because there isn't that give. So I think I'm just going to have to go out and buy myself a 2mm screw, which I can do, of course. But yeah, well, at least that's working. And the other problem with that sticking out so far now is that that is not going to fit in my... the switch is not going to fit in there because that huge piece is going to be sticking out. So I'm going to have to find a different screw. But you can see, let me get this in the right way around first of all. Hang on, the pack is there. That's it. And that's going to be there. That is it, like that, yeah. So let's just check that. And I think I've still done it wrong, look, because I think it's on. I've got it on to the other side, so I'm going to have to take that part anyway. How did I manage to do that? I thought we already figured that out together. That is on right now in that position, so I'm going to have to swap it anyway. But I think you'll agree that that is going to look really good when it's done. I just need to replace that with a different screw, and then we're in business. I'm very pleased with that. It's great. Yeah, fantastic. It's going to look good. It's going to look good. It's actually fun to see that in position now with the switch there. I know it's not finished yet, but yeah, Mo's saying that I could drill a little hole for the screw to pass through on the iron arm. Yeah, I could, so it would pass through. And I can even snip off the end of the screw so it's not too long, or use a slightly shorter screw. So I could do. I'm gonna have to take it apart anyway. So yeah. So there you go. That's it. Well, I think I'm gonna leave it there for today. Thank you guys for joining in. It was super fun working on the pack while I was in here. Oh gosh, where's this camera going? Hello, hello. There it is. Okay, that's better. There we are. So yes, it was super fun working with you guys and going through this. And thank you for watching. And if you learned anything from this, I hope that's helpful. Other than that, I, have to learn just like everyone else as I'm going along. So, oh no, Stu Cool is saying that you're just. Well, I have been at it for 2 hours. I've been live streaming. But what I would suggest is, if you're interested in Ghostbusters props, I just posted a video today of me and Ben Eady talking about Ghostbusters props. So if you want to check out that video, I suggest you hit the subscribe button, and you'll find all of my videos on prop building and on fandoms and other things there online on my YouTube channel. And thank you for joining. So many people have joined over the last couple of hours. It's been amazing. Been absolutely fantastic. So yeah. And if you like what you see, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. We're trying to build a community here. We have some wonderful people that have been following this channel and come every time I do a live. Thank you, those loyal followers. I really appreciate it. And like I said, if you want to be part of this community and join in, hit the subscribe button. There's plenty of other stuff out here. I do lives a couple of times a week. I've started doing one from my workshop weekly. I didn't do it this week, but the last few weeks I've been doing live streams from filming locations in New York City. And next week I will be at Fan Expo in Philadelphia, where I'm hoping at some point to meet Adam Savage. We'll see how that goes. Well, I might not be able to stream any of that stuff, but certainly I will be getting to meet him, and I can tell you all about that experience. And I will definitely live stream from the convention, so you guys can see that. There's lots of really cool things going on at the convention. There's the stars of Star Wars Ahsoka, so Rosario Dawson is going to be there. Aiden Christensen, who played, of course, Darth Vader and Anakin Skywalker, is going to be there. The cast of The Office are going to be there. And there's also going to be a Ghostbusters cosplay meetup at that convention. So I'm hoping to go dressed as a Ghostbuster on the Saturday and bring you a live stream of me walking the halls of the convention dressed as a Ghostbuster with my pack. Hopefully my finished pack. If it's not my finished pack, it will be my spirit pack. But I've got a lot of work to do, that's for sure. Yeah, that'll be super fun. So if you want to see that live stream next weekend, it'll be Friday and Saturday next week. I may not be able to give you a heads up on exactly the time of the day. I'll try if I can, but there'll be so much going on that I'll be happy to share with you guys. thank you for joining the stream. Like I said, if you're new here, welcome. Thank you for joining. Please subscribe. Please like what we're doing, so that helps me to keep going and keep doing what I'm doing. And there's loads of content, even though we're finishing, loads of content on my YouTube channel that you can watch of pack build. Sorry, my proton pack. Sorry, gosh, I've been streaming for too long. My trap builds. So if you want to see the trap builds, those are online. If you want to see me talk to Ben Eady, who is the prop master on Ghostbusters, you can see that online. And there's loads of behind the scenes for Ghostbusters as well. And if you like that kind of stuff, then I'm sure you'll love the channel. But anyway, until next time, thank you for being here. It's been great seeing you folks. And here's hoping that next time you see this, it's even more finished than it is today.